Hi, Brent from Talk Commerce. Are you ready to shade your e-commerce competition and make your brand shine? Then put on your sunglasses and tune in because this episode is about to brighten your day. Our guest, Joe Earley, is the co-founder of Tifosi Optics, a leading sunglass manufacturer for the running and biking industry. Joe knows how to create customer experiences that are so cool, your clients will need shades to handle the glare of your success. In this episode, Joe shares his UV-protected wisdom on crafting customer journeys that dazzle and convert. He'll reveal the secrets behind his brand's stunning success from initial touch points to post-purchase engagement that leaves customers craving for more. Whether you're a seasoned e-commerce pro or just starting to make your mark, Joe's insights will help you tint your strategy with colors of success and leave your competition in the dust. So grab your sunglasses and get ready to soak up some serious e-commerce knowledge. This is Talk Commerce, and let's give a big warm welcome to Joe Earley. And don't forget to visit our sponsors, pitchdb.com and Content Basis IO. They're here to make you shine.
You're listening to Talk Commerce. Subscribe and download at talk-commerce.com.
Welcome to this episode of Talk Commerce. Today I have Joe Earley from Tifosi, the best sunglasses in the world. Joe, go ahead, do an introduction for yourself. Tell us your day-to-day role and maybe one of your passions in life.
I'm Joe Earley. I am the president here at Tifosi Optics, so that means I do whatever Elizabeth, my wife, who I work with, tells me to do. Passions in life definitely have been family, but love to ride my bike. So been cycling for 30 plus years, and that's sort of what started and led us on this journey.
That's awesome. Good. Joe, before we get started into content, you did volunteer to be part of the Free Joke Project. So all I'm going to do is tell you a joke. I should have picked a bike joke, but I didn't. I have a different style of joke. It involves some physical movement, but not a lot. So I'm going to tell you the joke. All you have to do is say, should this joke be free, or do you think someday we should charge for it? So here we go. What do you call a one-legged hippo? A hoppo.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a tough time charging for that, Brent.
I know. That was.
So it's got to be free.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry. Yeah. Hey there, it's Brent from Talk Commerce. As an entrepreneur and podcaster, I'm always looking for ways to share my message and connect with new audiences. That's why I was thrilled when I discovered PitchDB, the ultimate tool for getting booked on podcasts, speaking gigs, and media outlets. When I first tried PitchD, I was blown away by the results. I had a 100% response rate from the opportunities I pitched, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to connect with relevant hosts and planners. With over 3 million podcast opportunities, 148,000 event planners, and 31,000 plus media outlets, and 11,000 conferences at my fingertips, I felt like I had struck gold. What I love about PitchDB is how it streamlines the entire booking process. Everything is organized in one place, and I can easily search for meaningful opportunities, directly connect with decision makers, and reach engaged audiences. The integrated portal, ready-to-use templates, and seamless functionality make pitching a breeze. If you're an entrepreneur, speaking coach, or author looking to expand your reach and make a bigger impact, I highly recommend giving PitchDB a try. Head over to pitchdb.com and see for yourself how this incredible tool can transform your booking game. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. I'm a longtime customer of yours, and I love your sunglasses. So tell us a little bit how you got into it. It's a very competitive space, right? So tell us kind of like that journey, how you got into it, and where you're at now.
Sure. Yeah. So it's been almost 21 years now. We've been shipping product. And, our background, my wife and I were independent sales reps in the cycling industry. So we sold to your local bike shops, your local running stores, some outdoor stores here all in the Southeast. And we sold lots of different products. We sold helmets and clothing and bikes and nutrition and sunglasses. And for those of you who don't know what an independent rep is, when you're an independent rep, that means you're what's called a 1099 rep in the wholesale side of things. It's you get paid commission only, right? So if you sell something, you make a commission. If you don't sell something, you get nothing. So we were selling a great sunglass brand at the time, but we would make this good commission when we go by and sell the first time. We sell them a display of 24 pair or 12 pair. And then we'd come around once a month to see our retailers, and they'd have sold a pair. And we're like, Brent, look, it's hard for me to stop the car to sell one pair of sunglasses. How could we sell more sunglasses? And consistently the feedback we got from our retailers was, if they had something nice that was a more reasonable price point, they thought they could sell more. The brand we were selling then was $100 and up, with a lot of the products, being $150 retail. And this was 20 years ago. And so we started looking to see, is there something we could rep that was already out there? We're calling friends in other territories, their sales reps, and say, hey, do you see something like this? And consistently the feedback we got was no, or yeah, but it's not very nice. And at the same time, we had a customer at the time, Performance Bike, who was a big mail order company out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, that we were selling to. And they did private label sunglasses. And they had 3 lenses and came in the case and retailed around $50 or $60. And I was talking to the buyer there one day, and I'm like, how do you do with these? And they were like, really well. He's like, somebody should do this for the regular independent retailers. Yeah, somebody should. As an independent rep, you have a lot of time in the car. So you've got a lot of miles behind a windshield, and you got a lot of time to think. And somehow we thought this would be a good idea. So I came home to my wife and said, hey, what about this? She was running our office, and we were doing distribution for one of our companies on the East Coast. So we had built a warehouse here. So we had the shipping, pick, pack, ship knowledge. We had the sales knowledge. We just didn't have a product. And we thought this is a hole in the market. So we went and found some products to offer. And in 2003, we launched with 24 total SKUs. And first year, we opened up about 500 retailers that carried the product. And the next year, went to around 1,000. And now in the U.S., we have about 3,500 retailers that carry the product. And that can be from your local bike shop to we sell to running specialty retailers like Fleet Feet Sports or your local running stores. To golf, we sell to all the Edwin Watts golf locations out there. And we sell an outdoor. So REI carries us in all locations, places like Academy Sports in the sporting goods space. So we've been pretty blessed to be successful, but our model has been, to offer this very high quality sunglass, but at a value to the end consumer. People talk about it all day long. You've had your brand, you plug in the name, they cost $150. You get them and you love them and you drop them within the first month, and that scratch is always right in the worst spot. And you have this pit in your stomach, like, oh my gosh, that was $150. I just ruined it. And, we found that there's a lot of consumers out there that want that quality, but they just want a more reasonable price point. And so that's what we've been able to kind of offer.
How do you get around? I mean, I think that the quality of your sunglasses, I think, are far superior to the $150, whatever the price point is. And I think I have a pair of 15-year-old Tifosis. How do you work that into resale and getting people to buy more? Do you depend on having to have new lines of sunglasses?
I mean, it's a very competitive category. When we talk about the Oakleys and the Ray-Bans of the world, they're owned by a company called Essilux, which is a fantastic company, but they're $25 billion in sales and, multiple brands and licenses. And, it's a very competitive space. So you definitely have to stay on the product gas. And for us, product is number one. So, for instance, this spring we launched a new model last week in the Sanctum, which seems to be a home run for us. That's in kind of the athleisure space. We've got a new performance piece launching next month. We've got 2 color stories coming the months after that, and then another 2 new models coming the month after that. So you got to make sure that what you're selling is continuing to turn and you're on top of the trends in the market. Because of our positioning, we don't have to be on the leading edge of fashion, but, we definitely follow those trends. And as our business has changed over the last 6 years, where we used to just be a pure performance product, now we sell a lot of what I would call athleisure products, what we call our Swank family of goods. These are sport wayfarers, for lack of a better term. They've got different silhouettes to them, but they're more casual oriented. You do definitely have to have a stronger, you know, fashion element and casual element to the product than just your shield designs for going out and running or cycling.
Do you think there's a difference between how you got into the market, or maybe it's the time of the time that you did it? Like I don't see a big opportunity now for a new player to come in, and honestly, when I think about running sunglasses, Tifosi would be the one that I'd go to as my premium ones. And then I guess if I had some sunglasses that I had to put on, I would. But I would think that as you go into a running store, there might be another brand that is a really cheap brand that the lenses wear off, and then there's your brand in there. How do you position yourself and make sure that you're still maintaining that space?
Yeah, I mean, again, it is a very competitive space, and as we've been in the business 20 years, we've seen lots of brands come and go in the space. A lot of people look at it and go, gosh, you know, it's sunglasses. This is a great margin business. You've got these $25 billion companies out here. In just sunglasses in the U.S., just sports category is a $4 to $5 billion category. So people look at it and go, wow, it's big. I want to be here. But it is very, very competitive. And to think you can just open up shop and not have anything distinctive to do, versus the competition, you're just not going to get anywhere. You know, we're a small operation, 30 some odd people, but you've got to stay on the gas all the time. You know, you're eating, sleeping, and breathing it. Like a lot of, I'm sure your listeners from this being entrepreneurs, you know, you're never really off. But you know, if you go into a run specialty space, for instance, the business has shifted a lot. It used to be very performance driven, and now it's very lifestyle driven. So, you know, we try to offer this very high quality product that, you know, you don't look at as a disposable product, even though we have products that retail at $25. You know, our competitor in that space, it's a disposable product. They kind of sell things more on just the fun of it. And if they break or tear up, then they just break or tear up. And that's not what we really built the brand on. So we can't really do that.
This is an e-commerce podcast, so are you doing direct to consumer as well as wholesale to your regular retailers?
Yeah, it's a pretty substantial part of our business now. You know, 2018 it was less than 5% of our total business. I think our domestic last year, you know, we're approaching, you know, we're over 40% probably is direct to consumer, either on our website or on our own Amazon store. We feel like Amazon is in that same space, and we've now but we are now doing those listings and our products on Amazon ourselves. And that's a shift over the last 3 or 4 years.
And do you see a challenge in that when you have retailers and you have your own? Do you obviously don't want to undercut them? Is it the same as say running shoes, where the running shoes people really want you to go to the small running store to get your shoes, but they'll also sell it direct?
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is now there's just consumers out there that they would rather just click it and have it shipped to the house, whether it's sunglasses or running shoes or whatever. So you have to service. At the end of the day, we're servicing the end consumer. Our running specialty stores, our bike specialty stores, people like REI, they're incredibly important to us. We're not I think a lot of companies they say I'm going to either do direct to consumer or I'm going to be wholesale. For us, as Jim Collins would say, we look at it as the beauty of the and. It's not an or proposition, because, you know, we have consumers that want to go in and try the glasses and buy them right there. They don't want to wait for something to get there. They want to just pick them up that day. And because of our price point, we do tend to be an impulse item too. So, you know, if you're in picking up new running shoes or you're buying a new bike, or just picking up your bike for service, we have people that'll buy products right off the rack there. So, you know, the wholesale business is something that we built the company on, and something that we know, I guess with Elizabeth and I, it's kind of in our DNA, because that's what we did before this for, you know, a dozen years before we started this. So supporting retailers and kind of working through them to help get the end consumer serviced is part of it. Are there people that are going to come onto our website and buy? Yes, but it's going to be the same price as what they can go to our local, you know, specialty retailer and buy them for. We don't undercut our retailers. That's just not part of our model. And that's one of the other reasons we took over the Amazon space as well, is to be able to control the pricing better, because we were finding that, either different resellers or Amazon themselves at times would discount the product, and that's not what we wanted to have happen.
When you enlist in Amazon like that, do you how do you control what other people are doing as a third party, or can you control that?
Well, we have in our retailer agreement that we just don't allow third party reselling. So, we want them they should be bringing value for the consumer outside of those third party marketplaces. If they're just selling on Amazon and that's what their business is, that's not a type of retailer that we're adding at this point. We want a brick and mortar retailer, or someone who has their own e-commerce site that brings value for us as a brand and for the end consumer. As soon as you offer it on Amazon and it has Prime, it doesn't matter whether I'm selling it or you're selling it or Amazon's selling it. If it has the Prime button on it, the consumer, that's what they want. That was part of the strategic decision we made, was to move away from having so many resellers doing it. We do have some resellers that still sell on the platform for us now, but they tend to be people who bring us value outside of just that platform.
Are you seeing more running or biking now? Are you evenly split, or what do you see more of?
Our business is still, you got to think about the size of the retail landscape. So running specialty retailers, there's about 1,000. Cycling stores, there's probably closer to 4,000. So there's a larger dealer base in bike. So right now we do sell but we sell more in cycling. We actually see running specialty, though, as it has the opportunity to be just as big as cycling right now, because running specialty retailers are actually selling more sunglasses in each door than a bike shop does, which is really interesting, because cycling eyewear is part of the outfit, right? It's part of the must-have product. If you're going to go out and road ride and average 16, 17, 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, however fast you are, you need that wind protection. You need protection from, debris. In running, you go to a 5K, 10K marathon, it's a small percentage of the people that actually wear sunglasses, even though they should be. But because of the growth of this lifestyle category in running specialty, it's very much female focused. It's probably 60 or 65% of the retail business for run specialty is women. And for them, it's more of a lifestyle. They're getting their running shoes match their outfit and matches their sunglasses. So they will buy multiple pairs. Whereas you talk about cycling, it's male dominated, and guys, once you have a pair of sunglasses for you to go ride your bike in, you have a pair of sunglasses. Sometimes you get two, but we're not really the same that way. So running specialty has actually exploded in what it's selling at retail in the sunglass category. The biz space has gone, and it's almost 10 times the size it was 6 years ago right now.
What about athletes? Are you seeing? Are you doing sponsored athletes? Are you seeing that space coming in for sunglasses?
So part of what we've kind of said as a brand from day one is that we don't pay professional athletes. That's how we keep the price of the eyewear down. What we have seen and what we have started to do is we do collaborate with some, what I would call them, more influencers. They might be, I would consider, an elite athlete, but we partner with them not because of their results in cycling or in running. It's more about the content that they produce and the following they have on social media to help expose our brand to their followers. So, we've got the vegan cyclist, Tyler Pierce, on the cycling side of things. This year we just signed Hella, who's a fantastic guy who's been running May 15th, who will have been running for 7 years, every single day for 7 years. But this is a guy who runs a marathon at, close to 3 hour pace, I believe. So he's a stud athlete too. He's a former professional, soccer player, I believe, is his background. And then we just signed a new pickleball influencer who won Survivor, but we're working with him because of his pickleball audience. But it's not, we're less interested in professional athletes that their exposure is all dependent on results. Ours is more about creating a bigger community for us and tapping into the community that these people have and the content they provide. To be honest, that's been really interesting for us to see that aspect of our business change and grow, and continue to feed that content beast is really important for us now.
Yeah, I think you took my next question was the pickleball sunglasses. Are there going to be pickleball sunglasses, and what do they look like?
Well, for us, pickleball sunglasses are pretty much anything that we offer because they're all shatterproof polycarbonate lens. So they were designed for cycling to begin with. When we look at a lot of our competitors, they offer what's called a tack lens, which is it's a flimsy lens that doesn't provide impact protection. And if you've played pickleball before, which it's been the fastest growing sport for a long time, but it's actually becoming pretty mainstream now. Through COVID, it obviously blew up and it's continuing to grow. That ball's pretty hard, and a lot of the play is at the net. It's coming at pretty quick. So there are a decent amount of eye injuries that happen. So wearing something to give you some protection. Plus, I mean, when you're out in any activity, whether that's running, if you're doing a marathon, if I was doing a marathon, my pace would be, I'd be out there for half a day. So you need to have that UV protection while you're out there as well. But pickleball has been an area where we started to see reviews on our website where people were buying them and like, oh, I'm using these for pickleball. These are great. And we're like, wait a minute. So then we started setting up campaigns to market to them. And we're like, well, these pickleball campaigns are doing really well. And then, so in the last 6 months, we started hiring some pickleball reps to go open up pickleball wholesalers. We've had tennis accounts before, but it didn't seem to have quite the, quite the excitement behind it that we're seeing behind the pickleball side. Even though tennis has been around and is a larger sport than pickleball, it's growing in a hurry.
Yeah, I guess now that you mention it, we both saw each other at Tree at the running event, and pickleball was there. Mm-hmm. Pickleball was a part of the event.
Yeah, what's interesting is, we went to TRE, the running show in Austin, and then I was at the PGA show down in Orlando, and almost directly across from our booth at the golf show, they had a pickleball area as well. So there is no pickleball industry shows. So some of these other shows are trying to attract that crowd. I will say that area was very busy at the golf event. I don't know whether it was people specifically coming to look at pickleball products or if they were just interested to see what was going on, because they had 2 courts set up there and people playing and pros there playing. So it was a happening little area.
You don't have to disclose technology, but one great thing about your lenses is they don't scratch. And I'm a runner, and I've dropped my sunglasses while running many times, and even sometimes it seems like they fall directly on the top of the lens. They're usable. They like the worst thing I get is, after 15 years, they're starting to show a little pitting from road ride, maybe too much riding with sand hitting them, right? Like how do you do it?
Well, all the lenses are polycarbonate. We also do something called hard coating it. So when you hard coat the lens, that helps, I would say, reduce scratching. There is, and I'll be transparent with everybody here, there's no way to make a scratch-proof lens. Actually, the most scratch-resistant lens you can offer is actually glass. So glass is really hard to scratch, just it's very easy to break. So you want something that's giving you impact protection, that's got great optical quality, and it's not too easy to scratch. Our lenses aren't scratch-proof. I mean, I'll be clear on that. But we do hard coat them to try to prevent that. But I mean, it's one of those things that it depends on how people care for the product, what happens with them. I mean, I find if I toss a pair in my wife's purse and let them jingle around in there for a week, it's amazing what can happen to them. It's worse than Brent. Yours probably look after, 10 years of riding or running with them. So it really just depends on the conditions. But usually if you just wash the glasses with warm water and just hand soap, you can get just about anything off of them. And that, taking care of them that way is a great idea. We also sell them with a cleaning bag that you can keep the product in. But the reality is, like, I clean my glasses usually with my T-shirt. So, that's the reality of how people use them day in and day out. You need to make something that's durable.
You did mention earlier about you should always have your sunglasses on when you're in the sun. Tell us some reasoning. Like, I always have a hat on for some obvious reasons, and I always wear my sunglasses. Well, and I feel like it's probably just good for your eyes, right?
It's exactly the same as your skin. So you can sunburn your eyes. So you think about it, anytime you're out there, you and I both have the same haircut here, which is none at all. I'm wearing a hat or I'm wearing sunscreen. When I'm cycling, I'm putting, sunscreen on my ears and all that. But you wouldn't go out there and hang out in the sun for 3 or 4 hours without doing that. You need to protect your eyes. So you do cause the same damage to your eyes, multiple sunburns. It's going to make your eyesight degenerate faster than it already is. I mean, I've just turned 50 this last year, so suddenly now I'm needing to keep a pair of readers around all the time anyway. But, that's something you're going to accelerate the more exposure you have to the sun.
Joe, we have a few minutes left. What do you see as the trend besides pickleball this year, 2024, in the sport optic space?
Two big trends we're seeing. Two big trends. So on the pure performance product, we've been seeing the shift to larger shield designs, and that's been several years now, and that's still very strong. But we're seeing that larger shield now come over to the lifestyle products. So we just launched a new product called Sanctum last week. It is not last week, 2 weeks ago, on the 1st of February. Since we introduced our lifestyle product called Swank, it has always been our number one selling sunglass. And the Sanctum is now out. It's outsold. It's been the number one seller on our website for now 12 days straight and by a large margin. So the big shield coming to lifestyle, and then color, Brent. It used to be black was the number one seller. Anytime we came out with a sunglass, you'd have 4 or 5 colors. And if you had a black version, it was always number one. That's not it right now. It's all about fun, bright colors. So if you looked at this new Sanctum piece, we've got one that's a satin clear frame with a pink mirror. That's the number one seller. The green mirror is number 2. The blue mirror is number 3. Black is actually the worst seller out of the collection, which, I mean, if you had told me that even 3 years ago, I'd have been like, you're crazy. So color and then the big shield are something that's still continuing to trend for us.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few. I mean, we watch track and field as well, and I see that even the indoor, they'll wear those big sunglasses while running around the track. Joe, we have a few minutes left. I give everybody a chance to do a shameless plug about anything you want. What would you like to plug today?
Shameless plug about anything. Okay, well, I mean, obviously, love all of your listeners to check out our website. I think next time they're looking for a pair of sunglasses, to think about it. That's just TifosiOptics.com. We offer regular sunglasses for sports, and we offer prescription sunglasses. So if you're looking for your next RX, take a look. We're shameless, and now we've plugged.
All right. Thanks, Joe. And I'll make sure I'll put those in the show notes. Joe Earley, the founder of Tifosi Optics. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks so much, Brent.
Welcome to Talk Commerce, the podcast where we unpack the world of e-commerce and online marketing. I'm Brent Peterson, and each week we bring you the latest insights and strategies to help your business thrive online. Talk Commerce is produced and supported by ContentBasis.io. This podcast is my creative outlet and has been going now for 3 years. We are approaching 1,000 downloads every week and growing. If you are new to this podcast, give it a listen or check out the fantastic content on our website. From exploring effective marketing tactics to dissecting the trends shaping the digital marketplace, we've got you covered, and we're here to guide you through the ever-evolving landscape of e-commerce. But we're not just here to talk, we're here to engage. Got thoughts, questions, or you want to hear a really funny joke? I'd love to hear from you. Email me at brent@talkcommerce.com, and let's keep the conversation going. Ready to boost your online presence? Tune in and stay ahead of the curve with Talk Commerce. Don't forget to subscribe for the full experience and share your feedback.
You're listening to Talk Commerce. Subscribe and download at talk-commerce.com.